Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So time for an update to Ultimate Freyna for the Legion Lab Dungeon Season 3 Episode 3. I haven't made too many changes since the last time I covered Freyna in detail, which was back in December. I have made one or two minor adjustments and also we could say one major change here. So let's go into the build. Now as you know, Freyna has three very good builds here. I'll not spend too much time going over all three of the builds. But basically, I'll focus on the toxic stimulation, which I consider to be the middle one in terms of power. Venom injection would be the most powerful one. You can use venom injection for the late game stuff. Contagion is the weakest one, let's say, but still very powerful for anything before the Axion plane. So for 400% dungeons, for Sigma sector, for special operations, this is the build that you want. So I'll briefly go over these builds. You can have a look. If you are new to the game and you want to build for the early game stuff before Axions, you can use this one here. Most of the mods will be identical. I'll be swapping around these three modules depending on the build and the Transcendent module. So for Contagion, I'm using Power Increase, Toxic Amplification, Focus on Tech, Tech Amplification, MP Conversion, Nimble Fingers for the cooldown, one range mod. So yeah, so these mods will be identical between the three builds. I'm using more duration with extension for Contagion. I'm using Decimator. So Decimator, when you defeat 10 enemies, you'll get your skill power modifier increase. So over here, if you see the damage, initially it says 1764 and it has been increased to 1957. So when we kill 10 enemies, it'll go up to 2007. So it'll get another 50 to the modifier. So once we have 10 enemies dead, we will get that 2007. So you can see here 2007. So this is why I'm using the Decimator. You should be fine health-wise with this build at 10,000. But if you're new to the game and if you find yourself dying, you can replace this with increased HP, which will give you close to 20,000 health, and you'll be very, very comfortable. The trigger module for Freyna is Infected Weapon. And for the Ancestors module, you want Tech Skill Modifier, Tech Skill Power Boost Ratio. And the third one I would recommend is Cooldown. If you can get those three, you have the perfect Ancestors module for Freyna, non-crit Freyna. Now, before the Axion plays, even if you don't have a trigger module or the Ancestors module, this build will still be very strong for anything before the Axion plays. So this is the first build, the Contagion. Now we move on to the most powerful build, which is the Venom Injection. So I would be using this for the endgame stuff, Legion Lab, the Forbidden Sanctuary, things like that. And with this one, we change things around slightly. We use shield for survival instead of HP. So what we do is, once again, you'll notice all of this is identical. We are using a different Transcendent module, but we are only swapping around these three here. So we are using increased shield and we are using overwhelming shield. What this does is it fixes the HP to 1 and increases your shield. So basically what happens is you have 1 health, but we have almost 9,000 shield. So the reason why we do this is when we use the second skill, we need this skill to be active all the time. So we press C, and this way, we need this to be sort of running all the time. And in order to keep it running, it drains your HP normally. So what we do is we fix the HP to 1. And when we do that, it starts draining the MP. So if you see over here, grants toxic sense, consumes HP for the duration of the effect, and MP when HP is below a certain amount. So what we do is we lock the HP to 1, so forcing it to use the MP. And with MP, you can get the drops, you can get MP from the dog, we can get MP from the Inversion Reinforcement, things like that. So we rely on the MP so that our HP doesn't get drained, and we convert the HP into shield so that we have some survivability. And we get 9,000 roughly with this build that I'm running. So that way, we have something to survive. So this one will be a little more, let's say, sweaty in terms of the usage and the difficulty. You may feel a bit weaker if you are getting hit by enemies, but this skill here, the Venom Injection, also recovers your shield every second at 6%. And you also reduce the enemy's resistance to toxic. You also do additional damage to commanders and colossus. So this is why this is the most powerful build. So it may need a little practice, but once you get the hang of this, this will be really, really good here. Once again, the Ancestors module, we want Tech Power, Cooldown, and Tech Modifier. Those are the three things you want. Infected Weapon stays the same. And then we have Toxic Stimulation. This is my preferred build. This is, you could say, the middle one in terms of power. However, this is still very, very strong. I am clearing the Legion Lab in under 4 minutes with this setup. So with Toxic Stimulation, this is ideal for playing in a group because you get extra defense. With this one, 60% extra defense, your skill duration goes up. And also when you press the second skill, and if you have a teammate nearby, you also grant them Plague Body Armor. And so when they are attacked by an enemy, they can inflict the Room 0 trauma on the enemy as well. So this is ideal if you are running in a group or if you just want to be a little more tanky. Once again, notice our mods are identical, all these here, 8. I'm using amplification control to increase the range further so that your toxins spread further. We are using infection amplifier. This goes with the infected weapon. Without the infected weapon, this is useless. So this complements the trigger module here. This drops in the Forbidden Sanctuary from the Axion commanders, and you can get it by combining your duplicates, because a lot of people have said that they are unable to get this one. This has been an issue, so hopefully they sort this out. And then once again, for the ancestors, we have tech power boost ratio and cooldown. Now the trigger module has 2 conditions here. First one is when you're doing continuous damage, you inflict something called Arche infection, and this basically does more damage. So the first part here, the damage between 265 and 855, that is part of the first condition when you're using a continuous damage skill. Now luckily for Freyna, all 4 of her skills are continuous. You can see continuous damage is highlighted in red, all of them. And with the 4th skill, you get the unique weapon benefits as well. So when you're doing continuous damage and you pull out your exclusive weapon, you do further damage with the exclusive weapon. So that is the second damage part, 95 to 475. So you want to get both of them in gold if you can. And then the infection amplifier works with the infected weapon. So when the infected weapon is doing its thing, and this will grant you infection amplifier, what this does is it will give you a 30% chance to deal 250% of skill damage as additional damage on the target that is already being inflicted by Arche infection. So yeah, so basically you use this one when you have this. And yeah, so that is the main build here, and I prefer this because you can get the maximum range, you can get the maximum cooldown, you can have a lot of HP, your defense goes up, it's useful in a group setup and things like that. You can also get the infection amplifier in here. Now for the external components, we are using the 4 pieces of the plague set. So I'll slowly go over the 4 components so you can see the roles and the cores that we want here. And what this does is this gives you tech skill power boost ratio. 3 out of our 4 skills are tech power, so you get additional tech power. And then we lose some benefits to the firearm. We lose the critical hit rate and the critical hit damage of the firearm. But luckily the firearm we are using, which is the Fallen Hope, doesn't use crit. So that is very good. And then we get 43.2% additional toxic power with the 4 pieces. The final thing on acquiring custom resource, that doesn't work with Freyna, that is for Keelan because he has the custom resource. For the reactor, we have Toxic Mechanics Reactor, Toxic and Tech. This is the good old reactor we have been using for Freyna for a long time. And the 2 conditions we want, the options are Tech skill power boost ratio and skill cooldown. For the Arche tuning, this is where I've made the biggest change. So I'm now putting 2 mutant cells here. So first up, we go right, we take the skill power, we take the MP recovery out of combat, we take the skill power, we take a couple of range, we take the MP here, skill power, and we go and take the putrid zone mutant cell. This reduces the enemy's resistance to toxic. And then we go left side, we take gun related things, we take the weak point hit, we take the accuracy, more power, and we take this route here to get to defense neutralization so that we can reduce the enemy's defense and resistance to different elements. So this is very handy, and because we are using this Fallen Hope, we can benefit with some extra boost to the weapon as well. Next up, we have Inversion Reinforcement. So you can either use Spatial Dominance or you can use Focus Boost. If you find yourself running out of MP, this might be handy. I'm using this to max out the range, even though we are very close to the max range. So you can comfortably go with this one. We are using Selective Neurostimulation so that we get the MP every 45 seconds. And we use Deploy Hardened Shell to reduce the incoming damage. Now onto the weapons. Fallen Hope is our main gun. So the cores we are using, in the free one, I'm using Toxic Attack. You can put Firearm Attack over there as well. You can put Fire Rate over there as well. In the orange one, we have Firearm Attack. In the blue one, we have Toxic Attack. Green one has Fire Rate, 20%. And in the yellow one, I'm using Sprint Speed. You can use Grapple Cooldown Reduction. For the options, we have Firearm Attack. We have multi-hit damage, multi-hit chance. And I'm using rounds per magazine. And this has to be 12% if you want the maximum on your fourth skill, unique weapon. Inside, we have Rifling Reinforcement, Action Reaction, Charge Amplification. So this gives you Firearm Attack, Fire Rate, Multi-Percussion, and Multi-Piercing Sights. So Fallen Hope has the highest base multi-hit damage of any weapon in the game. So we build into the multi-hit. It's weak when it comes to crit rate, and also we are reducing the crit further from the external components. So we are building with the multi-hit stuff. Toxic Enhancement for the element, multi-hit induction. So this will be when you are hitting enemies' weak points, you'll be getting further multi-hit chance. And then we have Expand Weapon Charge and Compulsive Magazine. These two are here to give you more ammo and also to max out the fourth of Freyna's unique weapon. We do lose a bit of weak point here. So with this one, we get 49% extra rounds per magazine. This gives you 39%, 88. And then, of course, the 12 outside will give you 100 when you combine all of that. Freyna's fourth skill, when you have 4 weapon cores, gives you another 80%. So you start off with 50. You get another 50% from the mods and the weapon. That takes you to 100. And then you get another 80%. So 80% of 50 is 40. You'll end up with a total of 140 on your unique weapon. So you can see right now we have 70 on the gun. When we pull this out, we will get 140. I don't know why it shows 100 initially, but yeah, you have 140 on your fourth weapon. This will be enough to take out multiple vulgar ships really quickly. You'll do a lot of damage to elites and bosses and things like that. So yeah, so that is basically how you can get the maximum from the gun, doing a lot of damage while also benefiting from all these extra perks. The Fallen Hope is also going to give you extra toxic attack. So if you see the unique ability of the gun, when you use your skills, your first skill or your third skill, you will be getting more firearm attack and things like that, and you'll end up with 95% more toxic skill power. So I'll just quickly show that because I forgot to mention it. So let's say we have some enemies here. Well, actually, we don't need enemies. So when you use your first skill, you can see those two skulls that have popped up. The first one has a number. I don't know if you can see it, but you can get up to 5 of those. And this increases your toxic skill power. So you can see here we have 223%. So just wait a little bit for it to go down, and this will be down to 128% or something like that. So we get an extra 95% power when we are using our skills while holding the Fallen Hope. Now, in case you are using the Exterminator to take out the ships in the Axion planes, you can have this sort of setup. So 3 fire rate cores, 2 fire attack cores, multi-hit chance, multi-hit damage, explosive attack, fire attack, and on the inside we have a build like this. Again, this is just to take out the vulgar ships in the Axion planes. You can also use her fourth skill to do that. But let's say the fourth skill is on cooldown, you can use this as well. So yeah, so that is basically all the builds related to Freyna. For the dog, you can go with the Husky. I have the new skin, so you can't tell which of the dog this is. But yeah, Husky for the extra MP. And yeah, that is basically Ultimate Freyna. So one tip I would give for Freyna, if you're using, is don't spam your skills too much. Let the toxins do their thing. So you just use it a little more slowly, let's say. You can see you can kill all these enemies. So there's no need to continuously spam. Just try and spread the poison nicely everywhere. And by doing this, you will not run out of MP, and also you'll still be getting very fast clear times. So yeah, so that is basically how to use Freyna and how Freyna works in Season 3, Episode 3. I think she's very, very strong, one of the strongest, one of the best all-rounders because you can use her in various places. Fun to use, and it's a lot of fun to see the toxins spreading and taking out all the enemies very, very easily. I'll leave you with the footage of a couple of missions. I'll show you one mission from the Axion Plains, and I'll show you the Legion Lab dungeon using the toxic Stimulation Build. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. Freyna is still a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend you build Freyna if you are a newer player to the game. That's it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Descendant, a large cluster of breach creatures has been detected in the area. Breach creatures multiplying. There must be a colony.
This is your grave. Watch your feet.
Picking up void mutant signals. Be careful. Vulgus Special Assault Ship identified. Descendant, Vulgus comms traffic is increasing at your location. It looks like Legion of Breach troops have been deployed. Picking up void mutant signals. Be careful. Vulgus Special Assault Ship identified.
How's that?
Descendant, requesting takedown of enemy assault ship.
Show you my craft.
Picking up void mutant signals. Be careful.
Melt away. Burn. Watch your feet.
Breach follower squad approaching in encircling formation. Respond immediately. Vulgus Special Assault Ship spotted.
This is your grave.
Descendant, primary tactical objective confirmed in Operation Zone. Please take it out.
Melt away. This is your grave.